All right, we're going to talk about the rating system, both for Uber and Lyft on both the passenger and driver side of things. Is it good? Is it accurate? Does it need overhaul? That's what we're going to be talking about right now. Hey everyone, Chris here from Real Rideshare Stories. If you're new to the channel and you're looking for different tips and tricks, whether it's passenger or driver, whether it's news, what's going on, or what actually happens on actual rideshare rides, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. All right, yes, we're going to be talking about the Uber and Lyft rating system, both on the passenger side and the driver side. And I'm going to answer quite a few different questions and comments that I've seen, both on Facebook group posts as well as comments in the comment section on some of my videos when it regards to ratings and different things like that, and caring about ratings or poor rating or wondering why low ratings happen. So we're going to kind of cover those couple of questions, and in doing so, we're going to kind of talk about if the rating system is good or bad, whether it's needing an overhaul, whether it's accurate or not. So we're going to be talking about those few things while answering those other couple of questions as we go along. All right, so first off, a lot of the times I'll see comments in the comment section on some videos, but mostly in Facebook pages, especially from new drivers or passengers who use the service maybe somewhat infrequently, or just, not too often, but occasionally. And this, what I see all the time is, everything was good in the ride. I felt, I got in, I was smiling, I said hello, we verified where we were going, all that good stuff. There was a little bit of small talk, some good conversation, at least what I thought. And then, part of the ride was quiet. No big deal. And then when we left the ride, the passenger or the driver rated me really low. They gave me a 1 or 2 star. I don't know what I did wrong. And here, to answer that question, because a lot of people, like I said, ask this all the time, is you probably didn't do anything wrong. Some people just rate low because they just rate low. And there's really no reason or rhyme behind it. They just rate low to rate low. And unfortunately, there's not much you can do. So this is a problem within the rating system itself. And certain implications are much more than others. So if you get a poor rating as a passenger, if you're not using the service frequently, that can drop your passenger rating quite a bit. So it can have a big impact on your passenger rating from, 1, 2, or 3 low ratings, because you probably aren't using the service as much, which means you're not getting rated as much. Now, drivers, on the other hand, for Lyft, you're getting rated for the last 100 rides. And for Uber, you're getting rated and averaged out over the last 500 rides. So if you have a lot of 5-star ratings and a couple of 1 or 2 star ratings, it's really not going to make a difference. In fact, that 1-star rating might not even change your driver rating at all because of the way it averages out. So yeah, a low rating from a couple low ratings here and there from people who just give low ratings on the driver's side doesn't really make too much of a difference. On the passenger side, like I said, it could if you're not using the service too much, because it's going to take the last few rides that are averaged over all. So it could drop your rating pretty good, depending on how many rides you have. So if you are a person who uses the service a lot and you get a poor rating just because, then chances are it's not going to make a big difference for you either. But yeah, just to let you know for that. So to answer that question really quickly, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that person. do what you're doing. If you're going in, you're providing a smile. If you're just being nice, respectful, going to and from the location in a safe, good manner. Both passenger and driver should be getting 5 stars. Again, people just rate people low, and that's a problem within the arena itself when it comes to that system. Now, on to another major thing that I see in a lot of different videos that I post, especially when it comes to taking passengers after they've tried to bring alcohol into the car, or after they've tried to bring more passengers than what's allowed in the car. So my car seats 4 besides me. So I get, it's a total of 5 that can fit in my car, 4 passengers and me. So I don't know where some of the discretion is on certain videos that I've posted, but yes, it's only allowed 4. When you order a UberEATS or a Lyft regular, it also says in the app itself 1 to 4 passengers. If you order an XL, it will say up to 6 passengers, and that is because, hey, some people have a 3rd row. Vans, other SUVs, certain Tesla models have a 3rd row. So yeah, in that aspect, you can take more. But if you don't do that and you say, hey, look, I can only take 5 people, I can only take 4 people, and you have 5 or 6, you're going to have to either order an XL or order a second ride, or you can even say, hey, I can go take a few of you to the ride first, come back and drive the rest to the ride. Those are a few different options you can do as a driver, but don't be scared to tell people no, or don't cater to things, especially when it's against terms of service and especially against the law. So for most areas, if people try bringing alcohol into the car, it's illegal in most areas. And Lyft prohibits it entirely, and Uber says whatever accordance with the law. So certain states do allow passengers to have beverages in the car that are maybe alcohol containing. But it's also township to township that could have different laws that do allow it and don't allow it. So a certain state may, but local townships and villages and rural areas, or even cities might have laws against it. And so you need to be aware of that. So if you're a driver and you say, hey, no alcohol in the car, that's your rule. That's fine. You can make rules. And one of the big things is you shouldn't have to worry about getting a low rating. And if you do get a low rating, big news flash. So what? Because like I said, you are rated over the last 100 rides from Lyft, and you're rated over the last 500 rides from Uber. So if you get a couple of low ratings because you didn't cater to them because they were doing something illegal or against terms of service, or being disrespectful or whatever it might be, you don't have to take that. If they rate low, so what? It doesn't matter. You should not try to bend over backwards to allow and accommodate a passenger who isn't being respectful of you and isn't being accommodating to what the terms of service and what the law says. Here's another news flash to everybody. No, rideshare cars are just like every other passenger car out there on the road for every single state, every single territory, every single thing. There is no special privilege for being a rideshare driver or being in a rideshare car versus your own vehicle or versus a friend's vehicle or whatever it might be. So for you to, try to pull things that are illegal in a rideshare ride, whether you're a driver or a passenger, that should not be happening. So first off, stop immediately. But yeah, don't worry about low ratings whatsoever, because that's a flaw in the system itself. They're trying to get you to do something that maybe might not be right. Or if you're trying to be in line with something, hey, guess what? It doesn't really matter if you get a low ride. Low rating. It doesn't matter. especially on the driver's side. Like I said, if you have, a handful of rides that are rated lower than 5 stars, no big deal. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Now, one last thing I'm going to say with the rating system itself, it is accurate to a point, but not really. It doesn't tell you what's going on a ride, or what could happen on a ride, or what happened on a previous ride. So as I said before, where it's going to affect a passenger's rating much more than a driver's rating, because drivers are out on the road and sometimes could take 20 or so rides in a day, or maybe even more. You could be getting a lot of rides, so your averages are going to average out pretty quick, but a passenger, you might be taking it much less, so your rating system can greatly be affected. So if you have a 4.9 rating, 4.9 star rating as a passenger, somebody rates it 1 star, maybe that brings it down to a 4.7 or maybe even lower or whatever. So other drivers out there have rules where they won't pick people up under a certain star rating. And I do that as well too. I won't pick people up at 4.8 or lower. So if I see anything lower than a 4.8. So if it's 4.79 and lower, I don't take them. Anything 4.8 and higher, I'll take them. And yes, there are problems on those rides also. Look at the ride that I just posted last week, where they got in my face because it was 5 people and I told them that they can only have 4. That rating for that person was like a 4.9. So yeah, things can happen where the rating system isn't going to necessarily tell it. And one of the flaws as well is these things don't come back with feedback for the most part. Sometimes it does. Other times it doesn't. Sometimes there's no feedback whatsoever. And that's a real unfortunate thing, because if it is actually something that a passenger or a driver is doing wrong or not sure of, and it's coming off, bad or deserving of a lower rating, and they might not know it, but they're doing it. It's a great way to be able to fix that problem and make it better. So yeah, it's just this kind of thing that it's not very transparent, especially again, coming from Uber and Lyft. They kind of blur certain things out. So it's not very transparent. And again, that's just going to allude on what they're hiding, which is the video that I just posted last. So make sure you check that video out too. But yeah, those are a few things dealing with the rating system. If there's any other questions or anything that you have about the rating system, comment below and let me know, whether you're a passenger or driver. But like I said, if one of those things was kind of answered within the video, take it for what it's worth, because sometimes, yeah, people just rate low just because, and then other times, don't worry about the low rating, especially coming from drivers. If people are doing things that they're not allowed to, whether it's COS issues, whether it's against the law, stick to your guns. It's your car, it's your rules. It's also you're the one who's going to be liable if any of these things happen. And then, if you get pulled over, you're the one who's going to get a ticket. If there's an accident, insurance, that's a big thing. So if there's a lawsuit, or if there's something just paying out, guess who's going to be paying for it? It's going to be you. As the driver. So yeah, don't take crap, and everybody, drivers, passengers, just be respectful of every single person getting in and out of the car. Be respectful to the driver, because they're taking you to and from, and should be, again, in a safe, convenient, and fast manner. And then passengers getting in, be respectful. That's their vehicle. They take care of it. They have to clean it. Don't damage it. Don't do things that are going to be against the law. Don't try to question that stuff either. Just everybody be respectful. Let's elevate Uber and Lyft's platform back to where it could have been, back to where it used to be, before all of these little nitpicky and cherry picking issues got into Uber and Lyft's platforms. Like I say, it's a great service. It's a great atmosphere for most rides, but there are certain things that do create problems. So yes, you can rate accordingly at that point, but anything else, just give it a good 5 stars. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the problem with the rating system. Yes, it does need to be overhauled and it does need to be reevaluated. There are flaws in it, but the question is, if you fix it somewhere, how else will it give up problems or create new problems that haven't been foreseen? Honestly, I don't know that answer. If you guys have any issues, or not issues, any input on that, on how to help rate the rating system better or make the rating system better, also comment below. Let me know what you guys think. All right, that's the end of today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you have any questions or input, make sure you comment below. And just wrapping up lastly, yes, low ratings are going to happen just because it's a flaw in the system. And then also, don't worry about low ratings if you have to tell somebody no, or if they're trying to do something in the wrong or illegally, or against TOS. You are supposed to stay in line with it. So sometimes if you got to make sure that you're the enforcer, be the enforcer. Do not worry about low ratings. And if people want to be out of TOS or something, or out of law but become compliant, like 5 or going from 5 to 4, that's fine. Take the ride. Don't worry about the low rating. It's not a big deal. But other than that, yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, so you'll be notified for all of our upcoming videos. And as always, never drink and drive, always tip your drivers, and we'll see you next time.